The reason most people never build wealth has nothing to do with money. It's something far more uncomfortable. People blame low income, bad timing, the economy, but those are symptoms, not the disease. The real barrier is identity. You don't build a wealth engine until you see yourself as someone who owns systems. Most people never cross this line. Behavior follows identity. If you see yourself as a worker, you trade time. If you see yourself as a builder, you design systems. Building an engine forces you to face risk, not financial risk, psychological risk. What if it fails? What if I'm wrong? And most people would rather stay comfortable than be accountable. This is why motivation doesn't work. You don't rise to motivation. You fall to identity. Wealth engines aren't built by confidence. They're built by commitment before clarity. Clarity comes after action. At some point, everyone reaches a line. On one side, safety. On the other, ownership. Most people never step over it, but those who do never look at money the same way again. Next, we break down how to start building your first engine without quitting your job. Follow for the blueprint. You don't need more money. You don't need to quit your job. You need a blueprint, a clear step-by-step plan to take back control of your financial future without burning out. Forget what you've been told. Most people try to build wealth all at once, thinking they need to make a huge, risky leap. They try to lift the entire engine in one go. And that's exactly why they fail. The machine is too heavy, it's too complex, and it breaks apart before it even starts running. The goal isn't immediate, total freedom today. That's a myth that sells courses but rarely delivers results. The real, achievable goal is control. The ability to make decisions not out of desperation, but from a position of strength. Gaining control over your time, your energy, and your financial trajectory, one deliberate step at a time. It's about building a system that works for you, quietly in the background, while you still live your life. So, where do we start? Every wealth engine, big or small, starts with excess capacity. This isn't about hustle culture or working yourself to the bone. It's the opposite. It's about creating surplus in the resources that matter most: your time, your energy, and your mental bandwidth. Think of it like charging a battery beyond 100%. This means simplifying, not complicating. You create this capacity by ruthlessly cutting out distractions, establishing simple, repeatable routines, and being fiercely protective of your focus. This isn't about finding more hours in the day. It's about making your existing hours more potent. The calmer and more focused you are, the more power you have to direct toward building. It's the foundational layer upon which everything else is built. Without this surplus, you'll always be running on empty, reacting to life instead of architecting it. Once you have that excess capacity, the next step is to convert your skills into leverage, not just any skills. We're not talking about collecting random hobbies. We are talking about developing and sharpening skills at scale, skills that can have an outsized impact relative to the time you put in. What are they? Things like problem solving, clear communication, systems thinking, and yes, sales and persuasion. You don't need to master all of them at once. Pick one. Focus on one core skill and apply it over and over again. Become exceptionally good at that one thing. This singular focus transforms your effort from a linear input to an exponential one. It's like finding the perfect lever that allows you to move massive objects with minimal force. Your skill is that lever. Now, with your leverage-ready skill, you build your first micro-engine. This is crucial. Your first engine should be small, almost laughably so. Why? Because the goal here isn't to get rich, it's to prove the system works. We want low-risk, real-world feedback and a taste of true ownership. This could be a simple digital product, a service you've streamlined with a clear system, or a tiny equity project. You're not chasing millions of dollars right now. You're validating the process. You're proving to yourself that you can take an input or time and skill and create an output that generates value without your constant, direct involvement. This tiny, spinning engine is your proof of concept. This next step is where most people go wrong and break the entire system. When the microengine starts producing a little income, the temptation is to upgrade your lifestyle. A nicer car, a bigger apartment, more expensive dinners. This is what we call lifestyle inflation, and it's the enemy of wealth creation. Instead of upgrading your life, you must upgrade the system. Every single dollar of profit should be seen as fuel. Fuel that you pour right back into the engine. Not on luxury items. You reinvest in better tools, in learning more, in making the engine more efficient. This disciplined reinvestment in the early stages is what creates escape velocity. It's the difference between a system that sputters out and one that eventually achieves orbit. Only after you've built a reliable system and have a consistent reinvestment loop do you even think about scale. Scaling too early is a recipe for disaster. It's like flooring the accelerator on an engine that hasn't been properly assembled. It will overheat, parts will fly off, and the whole thing will collapse into chaos. The rule is simple. System first, scale second. You document your processes. You build checklists. You find ways to automate repetitive tasks. You make the engine's operations smooth and predictable. Once the system can run itself without you constantly intervening, then and only then do you start feeding it more resources to grow. This is how wealth stops being a game of chance and becomes a predictable outcome of a well-designed machine. So, this is the blueprint. excess capacity, converting skill to leverage, building a micro-engine, reinvesting everything, and systematizing before you scale. There's no hype, no get-rich-quick shortcuts. It is pure, unadulterated structure. This is the real path. It's how ordinary people with jobs and families and busy lives, can build extraordinary leverage and achieve financial control. This is how you build an engine that sets you free. But even with the perfect blueprint, even when you follow every single step, there's a silent mistake, a subtle error in thinking that destroys more wealth engines in the early stages than anything else. It's a hidden trap that almost everyone falls into, and it can make this entire blueprint worthless. We'll expose that trap in the next video.